and today what I'm going to talk about is why I'm not going to buy the iPhone 11 Pro version, which everyone seems to be so excited about. So before I go any further, I would say I'm one of the new videographers on YouTube. I'd really like you to support me, watch my videos, and if you think I can make an improvement, please do leave a comment below. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so you can get notifications of my new videos. Before I go any further into why I am not buying iPhone Pro 11 or 11 Pro this year round, I'd like to start off by telling you what my phone journey has been so far. So I got my first mobile phone and I must have been 16 years old. Buttons on them that time around, and a color screen would be a bonus, but most of the times the screen were pretty much grayscale. From that I moved on to a Sony Ericsson, I think it was a K550i, which was one of the better phones. I loved the camera on that phone that time around, which I then upgraded to a Nokia. Believe it or not, yeah, that company still existed when I was maybe 20-year-old. So I got a Nokia 6300, or was it 6600? I'm not entirely sure. And after Nokia, I think I switched to Samsung and stayed with Samsung for a good while. I got my first iPhone, it was an iPhone 7, and since then I've been using iPhones. And I upgraded a few times. From 7 I went to an iPhone 8 and I'm now using an iPhone XS Max. So coming to iPhone 11, I watched the Apple launch event. I'm not one of those geeks who sits all night looking at YouTube. I just saw some of the highlights through it. And it again looked like a typical Apple marketing strategy where they bring out a new phone with minimal changes in specs. Specs are all somewhere at the medium end somewhere, and all they've done is maybe kept price the same or maybe added a £50 more into each of them, and say we're gonna give you Apple TV. I'll probably give you some Apple Music, some Apple games. And once you're hooked onto it, you'll buy more of our stuff. That is a similar kind of thing they've been doing in the past and has worked for them. I'm in no way against Apple. I think Apple softwares are one of the most streamlined softwares I've come across so far. And I do really enjoy using my iPhone. And since I bought my iPad Pro last year, I've been a huge fan. But the only thing, only beef I have with Apple is their products are way overpriced, be it with regards to their build quality, which is not perfect. I've seen phones built much better than Apple iPhones, and they are cheaper. Be it their camera specs. All the Samsung phones I've come across so far have better camera specs compared to the iPhones with the same era. And be it all the customer service. You go back to Apple, you probably have to wait, you have to send your phone back. Samsung, I've had problems with my phone in the past, and they send you back, you send it back to Samsung, and it comes back within a week. So, coming back to why I will not be buying the iPhone 11 Pro, the first reason is why I spend the extra money. Now, as you know, the iPhone 11 model, which is not much different from iPhone XR or 10R, whatever you like to call it these days, and I've done a review video on iPhone 10R. The only difference is an extra camera at the back and a square-shaped camera bump. They've carried on making this square-shaped camera bump on the iPhone 11 Pro, which in my impression looks very ugly. I do not like the symmetry of it. I think it's a big box sat right at the top. I think Samsung and Pixel and even OnePlus 7 have done a much better job with their camera and how they look in the back. I think Apple could have tried to make the whole camera thing, rather than a triangular arrangement of lens, a bit more square with a flash at one corner, and that would have been better. Since we're talking about design, I'm gonna point out the notch is still there. I do like the hole punch design the Samsung phones have come forward with, and I think if I had a choice to buy an Apple phone with a hole punch or with a notch, I'll definitely go with the hole punch. So Apple, if you listen to your customers, which I doubt you do, please bring us a hole punch device, because I think that's a much better display. Number 3, my issue with design is there's no USB-C port. Now, all of my devices other than my iPhone have USB-C port. I've got a USB-C port in my iPad Pro, which is actually sat right here. I'm reading off my script from there. So why cannot Apple provide us a USB-C port on their iPhones? I know why. I know they have patented their Lightning port. They can probably milk it properly before they let go of it. But the USB-C port is the way forward. My camera's got a USB-C, my GoPro's got a USB-C, and it's just easier having less wires. The third thing I think is a problem with the iPhone 11 Pro. They've still not brought the in-screen fingerprint sensor, which I think was much awaited. All the other phones are doing it. Samsung's done it, OnePlus has done it. So why cannot Apple find the technology to put a fingerprint sensor within the screen? I like Face ID. I don't think Face ID is completely crap, but my profession means I have to put mask and cap on sometimes. Yes, my iPhone is really good when it comes to face detection with my cap on, but I don't think it does a very good job when I have a mask on, and it keeps asking me for password, and because I have to keep my content secure, it does lock up every 15 to 20 seconds, and if I have to reopen it, I have to put my password back in. I think Apple could put an in-screen fingerprint sensor, and I think Apple, that's an idea for iPhone 12 Pro, which I might buy if there's any design features really outstanding on there. So that was most about design. The rest of the phone looks almost exactly like the iPhone XS Max, the model which I have got here. I think XS Max has a better finish with the gloss glass. I am not really a fan of a matte finish glass, and it's still going to be glass, so I don't think that makes any difference. It's just a small change. I was really hoping they would make iPhone 11 Pro, the body, something similar to the iPad Pro, which has basically taken up the design of iPhone 5 and 5S. Moving on, so talking about software, iOS 13. I don't have to buy iPhone 11 Pro to get iOS 13. It is still available on my iPhone XS Max. What do I think about it? I think it's still the earlier version. I think there will be more upgrades. I've had a few glitches with mine since I've upgraded to iOS 13. My phone is not really pairing up very well to my car Bluetooth, and when I play my music from phone through my car audio, it breaks up a bit, as if you've got some noise in there. I reconnected it and I did it once again. It's going down slowly, but I think there is something not right. So that's a feedback to Apple if they're going to work on it. The other thing I found out with iPhone 11 is because I recently bought my wife an iPhone XR. We've got iOS 13 on both our iPhones, and since we've done this upgrade, whenever I call her, it keeps saying either she's busy on another call or she's unavailable. But if I call her like literally 3 seconds later, sometimes it will connect. So is that a glitch with the Apple software? Is that a glitch with my mobile phone provider? I don't know. I think iOS 13 overall is a good outlook. I like it. I especially like the iPad OS, which is much better improvement than iOS on iPad in the past. One of the features Apple has been boasting about is faster face detection. And I've said this in my previous videos. If you look at my iPhone XR review, which was the unboxing and review, I do not think face detection is any quicker than it was when iPhone XS Max actually came out. Now, I do remember when I used to use this phone, I think about 8 months back, the face detection on this was very, very quick. And then after a certain upgrade, which was actually sent by Apple, the face detection turned to be very, very slow. It slowed down considerably. Then all of a sudden, Apple made this announcement that we're going to make our next face detection software very, very quick. And I think it's just an artificial process where they've slowed down their software deliberately to give you an impression that it's maybe quicker. I'm not buying that. Face detection is quick. Now, coming to prices, if you're going to go for iPhone 11 Pro or the max size of the 11 Pro, it is definitely going to cost you at least £1,000. £1,000 is a lot of money. £1,000 can easily buy you Pixel 3, Pixel 3 XL, OnePlus 7T can get you a Note 10. Note 10 is a massive device. It's got more cameras, it works better. So my question is, why would I want to spend £1,000 on a phone which has lower end specs? The display is not as good. I do agree Apple has worked really hard on their camera software, and their camera output is much better than it used to be in the past. But I don't think it's so much superior to Samsung or Pixel. And I would still use a Pixel phone when taking photos in low light situation. I think iPhone Pro, 11, they're all overpriced. I think iPad Pro, which came out last year, was overpriced, but I've used it for a while now. I'll be doing a video on my iPad Pro use very soon. And I think, even though it's a bit overpriced, it's actually worth it. It's a wonderful piece of equipment. Apple's really exceeded my expectations there. And I really like what they've done with iPad Pro. But will I spend £1,000 on a new phone which basically gives me, realistically, just an ultra wide angle camera? Now, talking about cameras, their camera's been quite alright so far. My XS Max has beautiful cameras and it works very well. I've not had any problems. I've never really felt the need of an ultra wide angle shot, especially on my back camera. If they come in the front facing camera, I'd really like it because I want more of my friends to be in my selfies. But it's not the front camera they're talking about, it's the back camera. So I don't think it is going to change my decision whether I want to buy or not buy iPhone 11 Pro. I think we've got much better options in terms of camera phones at this price point or even less. And I don't believe a phone camera can ever replace a pro camera. When I have to shoot something really professionally, I use my Nikon cameras. I've got a crop sensor, I've got now a full sensor body. And I don't think there's any comparison to be made between an iPhone camera photo and my professional camera photos. They're completely different. That's why it's called a professional camera. I don't think any of you guys will like the wedding shot on an iPhone. I don't think any of you guys would like an important occasion like their kid's first birthday shot on an iPhone. So I don't think Apple can fool me just by saying it is just like a professional camera. Talking about the processor, they've got an A13 Bionic chip, which is supposed to be faster. Yes, it may be. I use my phone to make some phone calls, to text, maybe use WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not really into these days. For everything else, I'm using my iPad. Why do I need a very, very fast chip for my phone? I don't have any idea, and hence that's another reason I'm not going to go for it. So that was a very, very brief thought on why I'm not going to buy an iPhone 11 Pro, be it the small version or big version. To be very honest, I've got my iPhone on the upgrade plan, so if I really wanted it, I could go into a shop and exchange it for a new phone, but I'm not going to. because I have to return my old phone, which I think Apple will still sneakily refurbish and sell in one of the third world countries. And I'm not happy with that. I'm going to keep my phone. I'm probably going to upgrade it next year. I'll be waiting for iPhone 12 Pro. I do hope you get us some front-facing selfie cameras, ultra-wide angle. I do hope the notch decreases in size and preferably becomes a hole punch display. I do hope our OLED screens are much better. And I also want to see some improvements in on-screen fingerprint sensors and the face recognition software. Other options we've got to spend our money if you're not going to waste it on a new iPhone Pro 11. I'm still waiting for this year's iPad Pro version to come out. Mine's working really well. It's lasted me really long. I love using it, and I'll probably buy the next version depending on how much of an upgrade it is. My MacBook Pro is becoming a bit old-fashioned now, so I'll be wanting to upgrade my MacBook Pro once they have sorted out the keyboard function and brought. Thanks for watching my video. This was a very short survey of why iPhone 11 Pro is not worth an upgrade for someone who's already got iPhone XS Max. Yeah, if you've got an iPhone 8, go for it. If you've got an iPhone 7, maybe go for it. But if you've already got an iPhone 10, a 10s or 10s Max, I wouldn't upgrade to an iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. Thanks for watching my video once again. Thanks for all your support you've shown so far. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Please hit the bell icon and you'll get notification whenever I produce a new video. And I'm sure if you like my content so far, you'll like it in future as well. If you've got any suggestions how I can make my videos look better, please leave them on the comments below. I do read them all and I look forward to anything anyone says to make my videos better. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a very good day. Bye bye.